You ready for day 30? Wow. I hope I said day 29 on the last video. I'm going to have to go find out. Well, welcome back. I'm so happy that you are here and ready for this evening's reflection. I am Goddess Shatoya. This is Triggered to Transform, and you have not stumbled here by mistake. You have absolutely called this space into your life because you've asked for transformation. You've asked for self-justice. You've asked for evolution. You've asked for change in your life, and you have been led to this space. So congratulations on being here. This is inside of a 90-day journey. Inside of these 90 days, we are looking for our optimal wellness to increase, for those things that we have really been looking forward to in our lives to changing, be it our physical health, our mental health, our mental health, our mental wellness, our finances. All of those things are being nicely situated for you to look at, for you to be aware of. And this week, inside of this space, we are talking about our nervous system. Now, you'll also notice that I'm using my real life to be in this space, as most creators are, I hope. But in comma, this is actually happening, right? I'm just building this YouTube channel, and I'm learning while I'm building the YouTube channel. Okay, I have had to consult my personal assistant several times, ChatGPT, because sometimes it's easier to have something and someone to talk to while you are doing this. Now, I hope you all had I mentioned ChatGPT, and I'm hoping you all had a wonderful time at the AI Summit with Alicia Little over the last 3 days. And I hope you learned a whole lot. I didn't get to attend this time just because of the way my schedule was set up. But in comma, those classes are always fun and full of information. So if you have not started using AI, search Alicia Little. I think she's Lyttle. First name is Alicia. And look at what she's up to. Now, I'm not going to overindulge us in AI, but I did want to mention that because it has been a very big help to me in this process. So, what have you been up to? How are you feeling? Okay. Is it cold where you are? Well, you can tell that it's pretty cold here. I was talking to my family, my dad actually in, the Midwest, and it's 30 something degrees over here on the East Coast, and out there it was 50 something degrees. And I was just like, excuse me, you stole my weather and I want it back. The nerve. So, I'm happy you're doing well, and I'm happy that you keep coming back. If this is your 29th, 30th day experiencing this with me, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for tapping into the space. Thank you for trusting me in this journey, in this guidance, just to bring about another thought, to operate in a space of integrity, to enlighten perception, to bring about the opportunity for a new perspective, and doing so with the understanding that this is all a choice. And at any time, any point in time, you can make a new choice. But the request is that you stay and transform yourself into your evolution. All right, so let me give y'all a little something else that's been going on. When I first started this channel, I was posting every day. recording, posting, recording, posting. Now that was before I entered into the world of editing. Once I entered into the world of editing, the posting was not on rhythm that way. And I have had to go through and watch YouTube videos and learn what it is that I'm even doing. What is the best way to operate in this channel, right? I want to share this with you all because I think it's important, especially if you're thinking about doing YouTube or anything else. This applies to anything, right? Because we can give it up regardless to what it is we say we're doing or how often we're doing it. When we're done, we're done. And I have had moments of just being done, okay? And so I've tapped into ChatGPT and just told Chat, like, this is what's going on. I am inside of the channel. I'm on 28 days, 29 days, whatever it is. And I'm having trouble editing a video. I got copyrighted because I had music playing inside of a short. I'm not posting regularly anymore, just trying to stay inside the algorithm. That's what I was saying. As you learn to operate the system, there's an algorithm that you want to follow in order to utilize the platform to its best ability, right? And so I'm learning this as I go. So right now I don't want to say I'm struggling. That's not the language that I want to use, but it feels different. The energy may feel different in the space because I'm having to put forth a new structure. I'm having to lean into this pivot of seeing the system that I worked within the first 28 days kind of dissolving and saying, okay, you're here, you need a new structure. Me not feeling completely ready for that, but always ready for a switch and change and growth. So ChatGPT said, Goddess, don't even worry about that editing. Like, the content's supposed to be raw. It's supposed to come off the way it comes off. And I said, Chat, I don't know about that because I kind of like the shifts and the transitions and things like that. He said, well, you do what you want, but the perfectionism is not going to serve you. And I said, you know what? You might be right. I might be being a little bit of a perfectionist because I want it to be top notch. Like, I want you all to come here and be ready and like it's decorating the classroom. I want it to be inviting. I want it to be interactive. I want it to be engaging in here, okay? Not just for y'all to come over here and hear my voice and see my sexy outfits with my t-shirts and hoodies on. But that is something that I want everyone to get. No matter where you are inside of whatever you've chosen to do. Some days it gets hard. Some days you don't feel like you know where to go. You can tap in the chat. You don't have to. But just knowing that it's the amount of imagination that you hold, that we hold, that we're able to move through, because it's all built upon our ideas, our creations. And then we bring other people and entities, if you will, into the fold so that things can grow and mature, because we talked about it before. Wearing so many hats is unreal, right? So this week I'm wearing editor, caretaker, mom of the abroad student. Well, I guess he's not abroad. I don't know what he's called. But he's not here with me, but he's still my kid, and I'm still very much involved in his education. Whatever that's called, that parenting, period, point blank, I don't care how you put it, parenting. I have this content creator hat. I have like all of these roles, but who am I going to be inside of them? And so that's what I'm taking most from this experience is I still get to choose to be the person that I see, and I can slow down. I can restructure. I don't have to feel the pressure of doing the thing that I was doing before. Now I understand a little bit more of how to move within the space, and I can feel free to say I'm posting every day. The content may not come out every day, but I do come to this space and talk into this device every day. And that right there is my guarantee. And I'm okay with the way that it looks right now, closing those gaps so that I am actually getting what I want out of the content, what I feel like is needed for the space. And I'm clear that I'm still getting clarity. I'm clear that I'm still getting clarity on being in this space, right? And what I'm even doing here. What I'm even doing here to create a system around that. I know what I'm doing here, and I'm creating a system as I go. So if it looks a little wonky, that's why. And I want to be transparent and, like I said, open about that. Okay. So with all of that being said, tonight we are get your journals if you don't have it. Mine is right here. Okay. And I think I moved my pen. Yep, but it's right here. I keep pens nearby. Get your stuff. Okay. Because what we're going to do is take a few notes. Now, I'm thinking about creating a workbook for this space. A workbook or maybe a notebook of some sort that walks us through this journey. Okay, so we let me know how that feels to y'all. All right, so tonight we're going to write down distrust conditioning. Now, after everything that I just shared with you about my situation and about what it is that I'm doing over here and kind of laying it out for you, do you trust what I just said? Right? And some of us might lean into, well, it's none of my business, I don't really care. Well, that is low vibrational leadership. Because the idea in leadership is to create other leaders. That's for me anyway. And so when I think about trust and what someone says, until you show me otherwise, I have to trust what you say. Right? And that holds true in leaning on the side of, I don't know, it doesn't matter to me. It's shrinking. So that's one of the acts, if you want to write that down, one of the conditions of distrust is shrinking. When we're acting in a sense of distrust, it's 1:11 a.m. When we're acting in a sense of distrust, we will minimize our understanding, our clarity, we'll play like we're confused because we don't trust what the person is saying. I see it all the time. Someone will say, no, I didn't have anything to drink at that party. You didn't? No, I didn't. Now, sometimes we might call that a condition of being judgy or judging, but that too is an act of distrust. If you can't trust me that I am who I say I am, that you judge me based on whatever, right? Sometimes we get judged for things that isn't, or that, okay, so we're always getting judged for something. Usually the thing is untrue, right? People judge a lot of things. It's funny to me because I was in the parking lot valeting the car to take my mama to the hospital. And I just left the other side of the hospital, paid another valet. And I went to him, I said, why is it that I have to pay for the valet again? I just paid for one on the other side of the parking lot or on the other side of the hospital. He was like, because you got it. Honey, that is a cruel assumption. You think I have it. Okay, it's just $16 and I might have it. But really, people will judge you for any reason. People look at you and think that you don't have it. because the way you dress, what you're driving, and da. Distrust of the situation. Do you understand that? How those two things align? It doesn't matter what the truth is if you're not going to trust it. Break the internet. Break the internet. It's not going to matter what the truth is if you're not going to trust it. This shows up in our relationships, women. Now, listen. Now, don't quote me. Okay? Don't quote me on this, but I feel like more and more women are pulling out of relationships. And I have had the I don't know if it's the assignment. I've had the pleasure. It's not even a pleasure, but I've seen women going through some really serious situations recently, getting out of situations, and even including myself. One of the things that he said to me was that he would have my phone cut off. And I don't even know if that I believed it, but I wasn't going to take any chances in it being true. I wasn't going to wait to find out if it wasn't true. But his request of me was I should have trusted that he wasn't going to do that. What? How? What are you talking about? Right? Distrust conditioning. It's like this underlying thing that I can tell you something and you're just supposed to know that that's not true. That you're supposed to look and understand that even though I'm mad and saying these words, that I don't mean them. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm going to trust what you are telling me, and I'm going to operate from there. I'm not getting ready to go through that. That's how you learn the conditioning. That is a distrust condition, and I don't even really know what to call that. Gaslighting? Is that what that is? Manipulation is a condition of distrust. So that's 4 conditions. Let's just close it out with a whole nother one. When we're thinking about ways that we show up in distrustworthy ways of how we show up. So we have shrinking as one. We shrink when we're distrusting of a situation. We may not show up as our fullest self because we feel like we can't show up that way. Baby, you better put on your mink robe and get out there. Okay? No more shrinking. We have no reason to distrust it. Okay? And then being judgy or judgmental. Distrust. That is distrust. Like, why can't you believe that that's what happened? That's what I said happened. And I understand. And let me tell you what. Let me back into this as well. I know that people play too much. That's why I say I can only believe what you say until you show me otherwise. Right? Because people play too much. And I can be judgy with it. I can judge you based on my thoughts about you. It's dangerous, though. That doesn't seem like the way a leader would behave. What do we do inside of that? Get curious. Get curious. Ask a question. And not in a sarcastic way. Somebody says, I didn't drink at that party. Congratulate them. That's great. I'm glad you didn't drink at that party because you've been saying for 6 months or so that you were so ready to stop drinking. Good job. High five. Give them space to say to you, I did drink. And I don't know why I lied. distrust conditioning. Okay, then we have gaslighting. Now, if you paint the side of the barn, I'll give you a little nookie. Nookie never happened. And that's just a crazy, that's just a silly, explanation for that. But look at that. Look at where I'm gaslighting you to get what I want. Or what the initial example was, I'm going to do something to you. But you're supposed to know that I'm not going to do that. I'm just talking out of my neck. I'm just mad. Always say what you mean. To operate in trust, say what you mean what you say. That if you can stand on business in that by just saying what you mean and mean what you say. Nobody has to guess. That is ridiculous. That's confusion, and God is not the author of confusion. It's not. God is not the author of confusion. If you can't be straight up and down with the information, then just don't talk to me. Manipulation, in the same vein. If you can't get what you need or want from me without some tactic to control the situation, control is an act of distrust. You don't trust yourself. You don't trust the universe. You don't trust the person you're with. You just want to control it because you don't know what else to do with your hands. Anger is a condition of distrust. Now, I'm talking toxic anger. I'm talking toxic rage. I'm talking the grunge of it. Right? And I'm just grouping all of those things right there together. The final one I would say is a condition of trust is lying to yourself. Can't trust yourself. The condition around that is when you're unable to trust yourself, you may not trust those around you. And that's a deep look inside. How does distrust show up for me? Where is trust the hardest? Where am I struggling the most to trust in myself, in my situation? We talked about this yesterday with my son. He just is, Mom, I'm stressed out about this school thing and how we pay for it. And that's like, he wasn't saying those words, but that's what I heard. Right? And me doing my best to be non-projecting, to be centered and aware, to operate in curiosity. And I'm hearing it and I'm like, child, if you don't get to what, how are we operating in distrust? Right? He's 18. He's still learning what faith is. Where's your faith? How is it that you know that God is, but operate from a space of fear of what's not going to happen? That's distrust. So in order to operate in your own level of trust, you're going to tell yourself the truth. Tell yourself the truth. You're going to show up. You're not going to be shrinking. You're going to show up. You're going to get curious. Ask questions. You're not going to gaslight yourself, or you're not going to be gaslit by anyone else, because in that energy, you just get to call it out. You're going to use your voice. Right? You're going to have faith and work within your faith. Faith the size of a mustard seed is what the good book, the words say. And I believe that. It doesn't take but just a little bit to bring about a major change of events within you. So look around, and there are so many other areas where you get to find out where you're demonstrating distrust and what that condition is. What led you to that place of not being able to trust anything or anyone around you? I think that is a very celebratory place to be in. And congratulations for looking a little deeper inside of yourself and pulling out those pieces of the shadow that need to be nurtured and loved on. Right? This is not a space to bond through our trauma. This is a space to exemplify our leadership through our healing. To fully show up once and for all. Congratulations. Congratulations, and I'm really excited for you. I hope you took notes. If you didn't, come back and watch the video again. Remember to like, subscribe, and share, comment, tell your friends. This is space open for 100 women. We are 22 strong in here, and I am just excited to see the space grow and that we continue to build clarity about what it is that we're doing here so that we can do so effectively and efficiently for ourselves, for our families, and for our communities at large. I'm so excited to be here with you, and I'm so grateful to have been chosen for this space. I really am. And you let me know what you need. You put a comment down there and say, hey, coach. Don't call me coach. Hey, goddess. Do not call me coach. Hey, goddess. I'm not sure of how to get over the hump. I see where I'm distrusting. And I'm going to say, get on my calendar immediately and let's have a trigger session. Let's get this under your wrap, your control. Let's set a plan in motion that you are not going to falter from. You're not going to deviate from. You're going to feel so strongly about the evolution that's available to you through your own work. All the words that you've heard in the Bible so far, this is the opportunity to truly manifest the embodiment of what you believe in. If you are a Christian, it's Jesus Christ. If you're a Muslim or of Islam faith, it's Muhammad. And those very distinct people have ways of being that are to be amplified. Wherever you stand in your own understanding, your own walk of faith, your own spirituality. I only bring up those two because of the commonality in them. But again, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I don't care what you call them. If you are tapped in, tuned in, turned on, thank you, Abraham Hicks, to your divinity, it calls for something. It calls for you to show up differently and in a way that stands out and embodies that in which you believe. And that's what we're doing here. Working through our trust, working through our nervous system to calm down, to accept our leadership. I'll give you a round of applause, and I will see you tomorrow on day 31. I'm triggered to transform. Have a wonderful, wonderful night, y'all. Goddess blessings. Be well.